The designs you create using gCADPlus are a valuable resource. Let's have a look at how you might protect those designs. Let's begin by saying File and New, and we'll just use one or two of the templates to create a design. So here's a formal rear garden, and there we are. We're in model space at the moment. The background has been turned white. Let's put it back to the default black or dark color. So that's one job, if you like, that has been developed with this copy of gCADPlus. Let's pick another one, and we'll pick something like the front garden one. So we're running a template that generates a design. You might have saved this design. It might already have in that template your own logo, your own text information, and so on. So starting with a template is a very, very important and practical way to increase your drafting efficiency. So at the moment we are working on two designs and we've not saved either of them. We can click Window and just switch from one to the other. They're both called No Name at the moment. So how do we go about efficiently protecting this work? If we say to this one, which was the formal rear garden, we can say Save As. So we can go Save As, and we get an opportunity to put it somewhere. Clearly, if we pick Save, we get the same opportunity to put it somewhere. Now gCADPlus will, of course, your computer will remember where you last saved, and you can see here a whole lot of files that are living on the desktop. They live in a desktop folder under Documents, under User Documents, but that's not a very sensible place to put the file. We need to learn to make sure we save our designs in a well organized fashion. So let's go up a level, and we'll go to our C drive, and we'll go down here to Users, and I've set up User Info 00. So here we are, and we go to our Documents folder, and there we will find gCADPlus. So you can see in installing gCADPlus what it's doing. It's trying to help you by setting up a series of folders for each year of your design consultancy work, and here's 2021. So this was, we can double click there and give it a name, and we'll call it Formal Rear Garden, or better, we could say File and Save As, and come up a level and select 2021, and let's imagine that this was a design for a client called Jane C. So we've created a folder called Jane C, and we're now going to save another copy of that drawing. We'll call it Jane C Proposal. It is likely, of course, that you'll make several concept drawings or proposal drawings. So can you see we're filing our drawings quite efficiently so that we can find them and open them up. Here's another one. If we go back here to this one, we could say File and Save As, and let's imagine it's not for Jane C, but we'll go 2021. We'll make a folder Fred B, and in that folder we'll call this one Front Garden. So can you see we are filing our designs in a folder called 2021 under the name of the client, so we can find them easily. Then when it comes to backing those up, all we need to do is to go to our Windows Explorer tool and log the Documents folder, and then just back up those named folders. Each year's folder, we can back them up to some sort of storage device. The key issue, of course, is that when you close down gCADPlus and start again, and you've had a call from Jane C. You can just go File and Open and navigate your way, and if you develop a consistent way of doing that, you'll find that life becomes a little easier. And this is of course working when you're working as an individual designer. You of course have your own design consultancy, but you're the one creating all of the design work. You're the one in charge of storing the drawings and leaving them in places where you can find them, and you're in charge of backing them up and making sure that they are looked after. That store of past drawings is often very, very useful when you want to lift some material from a design such as this one and put it into a new one. Well, if we start Windows Explorer, there's the series of date folders. So the work in 2021 is here, and there's Fred blogs, and there are a couple of files here. Front Garden LCS is an automatic backup file and can sometimes be useful to recover from particular problems. But you notice that I put Jane C, that folder, at a level higher up than it needs to be. It's a job we're imagining is done in 2021, so I need to move it. And of course it says that in our copy of gCADPlus it's currently open, so I cannot move it. So I'll switch back to gCADPlus and just close that particular drawing. Well, I've now done that, so I can try again, and there we are, we're reorganizing things in our folder. So let's reiterate by looking again at our Windows Explorer tool, and here we are in 2021. We have the two folders. I'll eliminate that one and keep things really simple. The client Fred blogs in the year 2021, his files are there, as is the client Jane C. And you'll notice that we have a backup file now as we worked. So gCADPlus keeps 3 copies of each design as you are working. In order to use either the LC dollar one or the back one, you have to rename them, and that's easily done in Windows Explorer by right clicking and rename. But just be careful when you are doing that and give it a meaningful name like my recovered file or something like that. Don't overwrite an existing one that is there. So to reiterate, we now have our designs that we create in 2021 neatly stored away, and it's a very simple matter now to back up all of the 2021 work, copy it, and then paste it wherever I want to. Some sort of backup device would be the way to go. So that's working as an individual. What happens when you want to use gCADPlus on several computers in your group and all access the same store of design consultancy drawings? Well, I've now created a new folder on an external computer, and I'll call that folder AA outer space, and I've copied the 2021 folder, double click in here, onto that drive. So it's a network drive. It's now available to everyone on the shared network that I'm working on here. So all I need to do now is go to File and Open, and I navigate to the 2021 folder on the network drive. Remember we created one in gCADPlus in the Documents folder, so I need to go to my network drive, which happens to be the G drive, and there we are. So we're now operating, and we're going to load a proposal for Jane C. So can you see that no matter what computer I'm operating on the particular network, I'm able to log the one store of drawings that are there. Now if we then set up a tool like Dropbox or OneDrive to back that up automatically, then then we've got a high degree of security. So working as an individual versus working as part of a group is important to make the distinction between those two, and slightly change your way of working. You can of course save in the documents folder of the computer you're using in the way that we first described here. You have to remember of course to update the company files which are on a shared network drive. Well, in my network I have a subscription to Microsoft's OneDrive, and so I can simply drag the outer space folder from my shared directory on, in my case the G drive, and the files there are now being updated. That little symbol, circular symbol, indicates that those files that we created this morning in this little exercise are now being backed up. So we have our store of company files backed up on a server, and we take responsibility for making a copy of those, but also the files are automatically being backed up on, in this case, OneDrive. There are many other, perhaps less expensive, backup facilities. Dropbox offers about 20 gigabytes of free storage, so it's up to you. I might add that I would like to a mythical user such as this to store some other things in that outer space folder, things like plant database files. Let's just have a little look at some of those. Well, in addition to protecting your designs, I think it's also worth keeping a store of your design consultancy individual plant database files and the particular template files that you've created for your consultancy. If we pick and we go back to the front garden one for Fred B, and we go gCADPlus and edit the plant schedule, you can see this design picks a plant database, a GCP file, from a master list that I've got on my shared folder, and it would be a really good idea to move things like this to that AA outer space one, that imaginary company that we are using and we are running. I'd want to keep records of this because we might well have worked through and adjusted this one so that we fix all the red underlining by saying let it hover over here and add that word, add it to our little dictionary. So we're now fixed up, not fixed up, but we've said we are happy with the spelling of cognata, fimbriata and so on, and once we've done that we can save the dictionary and we can save the GCP file and we can save our templates file, the ones that we've adjusted the gCADPlus defaults, and we have organized those to work with our own design consultancy. So I'd be going back to the G drive and our outer space thing and adding some folders for our plant lists, adding some folders for our plant dictionary perhaps, and adding folders for the template drawings that our consultant uses. And the reason for that is if you start with a template like this one, you've got all of the information that you need, and it becomes very easy to update that information. That schedule is there. You can have several layout spaces all preloaded and easy to remove the design or edit the design and then rerun the plant schedule. Everything works very, very smoothly. There are quite a number of YouTube movies that we've listed for, in a sense, advanced work with gCADPlus, but I hope that covers quite comprehensively how you store your drawings and how you back up those drawings when you're working as an individual designer, and then taking it to another level when you're working across a network with a group of designers. And I guess you could work remotely with several other designers, taking this to a further level.